Good espresso at home? It's possible, but from a very inexpensive machine? Casabrews is certainly not a household name, but one of the models generating a lot of buzz is the Casabrews CM5418. I just had to try this espresso maker out to see if cheap can still mean good. But with its lightweight that makes it kind of tippy, cheap accessories, and shots that are not as hot as they could be, does this mean the Casabrews machine will leave you feeling cold? I'm Erin from Tech Gadgets International, and I bought this machine for myself from Amazon to find out. I'll show you how it works for making espresso and steaming milk. I'll talk about the coffee quality, temperature, and the overall results. I'll wrap things up with both the pros and the cons of this machine so you can see if it might be right for you. Inside the box, you'll find the machine itself with a 34-ounce removable water tank pre-installed. You also get a 51mm aluminum portafilter and 1 and 2 cup brewing filters. There's also a spoon/tamper and a steam wand cleaning needle, as well as your quick start guide and a user manual. Although the CM5418 features a steam wand, the package oddly does not include a milk frothing jug or steam pitcher. With a budget-level espresso machine like this, you're going to have to make some compromises and cover some of the bases yourself. The missing milk jug is just one part of the equation. You're also going to want to have a grinder that can grind you proper espresso, and purchasing a good grinder is going to push your budget out even further. Keep these extra costs in mind as you're weighing whether this budget machine is going to be right for you, or if you might want to invest in something with a few more bells and whistles, like the Ninja Luxe Cafe. I reviewed that machine here on the channel, and you can check it out also. The last thing I'll touch on as you're weighing whether this machine might be right for you is that the coffee you choose, how you grind it, not to mention the environmental conditions like humidity, can all have an impact on what your finished espresso shot will turn out like. I'm going to focus on the mechanics and the operation of this machine specifically, but you should know that investing in higher quality beans, using filtered water, a steel tamper, and other potentially snobby coffee tricks can all contribute to your end results. The Casabrews CM5418 is a compact semi-automatic espresso machine which combines some of the convenience of something like a Nespresso machine while giving you more options when it comes to using ground coffee. In terms of the specs, the CM5418 features a 20-bar high-pressure pump and a 1350-watt motor, which should help produce richer and smoother espresso than a typical pod system. The real appeal of this machine, though, is its beginner-friendly nature, since you can make some decent shots with good crema even if you have little to no barista skills. The machine is just about 6 inches wide and close to 12 inches tall, making it ideal for smaller spaces. The front control array features a set of 4 buttons, plus there is also a simple pressure gauge. The 51mm aluminum portafilter has a large plastic handle, but it does feel kind of budget since it lacks a lot of the weight of a quality portafilter. The portafilter also has a plastic bottom, which is another cost-saving measure. The 2 filter baskets that come with the machine are both dual wall, and they're pressurized, which may put off some coffee aficionados because it won't give you an authentic crema. Now, despite that, the pressurized brewing filters are a little more newbie-friendly. The dual wall filters have a single hole at the bottom which coffee passes through, and you can probably barely see it in this video. Because this design artificially builds up pressure in the portafilter, you could get pretty good results even if your coffee grind, tamping, and environmental conditions aren't perfect. This setup even allows for it to create a foamy crema layer too, which does give the brew some visual appeal. Before your first use, you do need to run water through the steam wand to prime the pump and then flush the machine. There are instructions in the user manual that will show you exactly what to do. You're going to turn the steam wand on and let water flow out of it for up to 8 seconds. Now, it took nearly a minute for my machine to actually start pumping water, and even then it was only a little bit. Step 2 is to flush the machine and get some water running through it fully. You'll do this by pressing and holding both the 2-cup button and the steam button for 5 seconds, and the machine will automatically start. Making that first espresso is actually quite easy. Use this scoop to measure enough grounds to fill the basket. Use the bottom or the plastic tamper to tamp it down. The instruction manual suggests you tamp it quite tightly, so I did. Then twist the portafilter into the machine. I'll note the portafilter housing is quite tight, and trying to twist it in moves the whole machine. It's a bit of work to get it seated correctly, and it requires me holding on to the machine so it doesn't tip over. From there, choose the size, and there's only 2 options. There's 1 cup or 2. I wrongly assumed that 2 cups is a double espresso, but when I started the brew, the coffee just kept coming and coming. This was clearly way more than a double shot. Knowing I'd need to make some adjustments to the machine down the road, I sampled the coffee anyway and found it came out really good. The espresso was quite thick and rich and not at all watery, even despite the extra water in this one. It did have that nice visual crema on top, which always makes the drink more appealing. I did use high-quality espresso beans and definitely enjoyed my first cup. I found it surprisingly posh despite it coming from a budget machine.
It's good. Really good.
From the moment you turn it on, it takes approximately 30 seconds for the machine to heat up and be ready to make a drink. Once you've started the brewing process, a single shot brewed for me in about 20 seconds.
If you want to adjust the volume for each size setting, you can customize this. Now, you do need to make a shot of coffee while you adjust it, so it's best to save making this adjustment until you are ready for your next drink.
I followed the instructions printed in the user manual to the letter, but I struggled to reprogram those cup sizes. You're supposed to be able to press and hold the 1 cup button for 3 seconds, and then that indicator light will stay continuously lit. But for me, the lights just kept on flashing. In fact, when it became evident I wasn't going to be able to reprogram the shot sizes, it wouldn't even switch to making coffee even when I turned the machine off and then back on again. I resorted to having to unplug it to essentially reset things before it would work again at all. I tried the reprogramming process a second time, and this time it worked. Press the cup size button and hold it for 3 seconds, then press that button again and the coffee will start to flow. When you have the amount that you'd like for that setting, press the button a third time, the coffee will stop dispensing and your new amount's going to be programmed into the machine. So all that's to say, if your machine is also being finicky with the reprogramming, unplug it and then plug it back in and try again. When you do change the sizes, the minimum 1 cup size is 1 ounce and the max is 2.4 ounces. Do the same thing with the 2 cup volume, and here you can get much more coffee. You can adjust the dispensing amount from 2.7 ounces up to 4 ounces. There is also an auto shut-off feature where the machine will power down if nothing happens after about 30 minutes.
With this being a budget machine, it's no surprise the brewing temperature of the water isn't adjustable.
When I brewed espresso, it comes out of the machine and maxes out at about 123 degrees Fahrenheit. That is well below the recommended espresso temperature of between 90 to 96 Celsius or 194 to 205 Fahrenheit. Now, with that said, I didn't actually mind the temperature and I didn't find it anywhere close to cold. If anything, it made it drinkable far quicker. If you're finding the espresso is not hot enough or that it's cooling too quickly, preheating your espresso cup a little bit can help.
If you love milky coffee drinks, you are in luck thanks to the included steam wand. But if you do plan on using this component fairly often, you'll have to be a bit patient since the milk frothing may feel a bit underpowered compared to some larger machines.
Plus, right after you're finished frothing milk, you'll have to wait for the machine to heat up again before you brew your coffee. I actually found a few problems with the steaming. For starters, the steam wand resting position is outside the edge of the drip tray, so if you turn it on without something underneath it, it's going to leak all over the counter instead of dripping into a tray. Annoying. The next thing I found is there's not a lot of room to work with. The wand doesn't pull out very far from the side so you can work. Coffee experts will tell you you're supposed to swirl the milk around the jug, but I kept banging into the sides or the head of the machine. I don't make a lot of milk drinks with my coffee, admittedly, so I'm not very skilled at the fine art of milk and milk foam. From my simplistic point of view, the steam wand heated the milk just fine. I didn't get a lot of foam, but like I say, that could just be due to my own skill level. Another aspect of the steam wand I didn't care for is the location of the on-off handle. Positioned right above the wand where you're likely to be working, it creates a hot column of air right below the handle that can be tricky to avoid when you're trying to shut off the steam. The components of the machine clean up quickly and easily. The drip tray pulls out from underneath the spout for hand washing, and the portafilter can be tipped into the compost to release the grounds. I will note that the filter baskets inside do fit kind of loosely, and if you're not careful, you can definitely knock the filter right out of the portafilter and into the garbage or the compost. None of the parts, by the way, is dishwasher safe.
The Casabrews CM5418 is indeed an entry-level espresso machine in the strictest sense of the word. For those beginners out there who want to head down the rabbit hole of being a home barista, the CM5418 is a great low-cost starter option. Let's go over both the pros and the cons so you can see if it might be a good fit for you.
On the pro side, the machine is ultra simple and incredibly easy to use even for newbies. That it brews both espresso and steams and foams your milk makes it a nice all-in-one device for coffee lovers who appreciate those milk-based drinks. It makes good quality espresso and even finishes it with a nice-looking crema. The machine is easy enough to clean even though the parts aren't dishwasher safe. Downsides? You will need to invest in some accessories like a decent grinder, maybe a milk pitcher, and perhaps even a tamper as you gain confidence. I also didn't enjoy the positioning of the steam wand or its lack of alignment with the drip tray. I also found the light weight of the machine and the tight fit of the portafilter meant it takes two hands to seat it correctly without tipping the machine. I also did find the reprogramming process finicky. Are any of those true deal breakers or just minor annoyances? That might be up to you.
Pod-based espresso machines will always have their place in the market, but stepping up to the Casabrews CM5418 will open you up to a world of tinkering when preparing more customized espresso shots, which can be fun. I would definitely categorize this as more of a starter machine or as an option for an RV or a compact space. Serious espresso lovers are likely to need a bit more here, but for the price of this, you would be hard-pressed to find a competent competitor. In short, I enjoyed my time with the Casabrews CM5418, and I think you will too. It sells for about $139 US or $219 Canadian, and yes, that pricing discrepancy hurts. If you are looking for a little more from your semi-automatic espresso machine, I am a huge fan of the Ninja Luxe Cafe, but I do also appreciate a good quick and dirty Nespresso, so you can see which machine I like for that right now.